Hi, my name's John. A year ago, I never even heard of Fruits Basket. That is until my fiancé introduced the anime to me.
And I'm Allie. I've been reading the manga since I was in 3rd grade.
We loved watching season 1 together so much, and we'd have all these crazy long discussions about what happened in each episode.
And for season 2, we thought it would be really fun to share our conversations with you.
So join us today as we talk about season 2, episode 24. Here you are. So if you're a returning listener, then welcome back. If you're a new listener, then we're happy to have you on this week's episode of our Fruits Basket podcast. So if you like this kind of content, you want to see more of it coming from this channel, then make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss another upload. And share it with all of your friends wherever you share things, whether that's on Twitter, Discord, Reddit, or anywhere else. But with all that out of the way, where are we starting?
Okay, so I don't even have to ask you if you enjoyed today's episode.
I hated it.
I know you did. So instead...
Worst.
The absolute worst episode didn't have any Yuki Machi content, so why would you like it?
Ugh. Gross. Yuck. Puh. Yuck.
Oh my god. Okay, so instead of discussing whether or not you liked the episode, because, why would you? Nothing special for you. I'll just go
Nothing special.
I'll go over the content that we skipped because they did a little switcheroo.
Okay.
So last episode we ended on chapter 89, and then this episode we did 94 and 95. There's some missing numbers there. So we skipped chapters 90 to 93. And they're going to put that content likely in season 3 because I don't see how they could cover that all in the last episode, nor do I think they will because of the episode preview. So it's looking like your girl can make some good predictions for once. And I was right about the next episode. It's going to be chapters 96 and 97, it looks like.
That means nothing to me.
It means nothing to you, which is great, because you don't know what that content is, which makes me very, very happy. But all of the manga readers have been trying to deduce what the next episode will be. And,
it's
guys,
just like a big catfish, and it's super underwhelming.
It's actually the most boring one. Yeah, nothing happens at all. They go to the grocery store and they just buy groceries. They pick up some envelopes and, that's it. But, yeah, so how was the episode?
Okay, real talk. I'm so fed. So just them starting out with that flashback to Machi's perspective of when Yuki was asking what color she liked and how that shook her to her core just being literally the most mundane question you could ask someone.
Oh, yeah. And it's something...
What's your favorite color?
It should be so easy to answer.
Yeah, it's so ingrained that, okay, everyone's supposed to have a favorite color. But she goes completely, in the other direction and says that she's a void, which I have a lot to say about that in particular, but we'll get there. Because we get the intro, and I'm so excited because I love the student council.
Yes! Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have read this manga several times throughout my life. So it started in 3rd grade and then around the ages of 10, 11 in there, and then again in high school and college. So I've read this multiple times. Every single time I have ever read it, I didn't really like the student council for some reason.
How?
I don't know. I wish I could tell you. I think I was just so wrapped up in the Kyo Tohru story that I just got annoyed with how much space they took up in the chapters, and especially because in this middle section you can see it's very Yuki-centric, and I was like, I get it, my God. I know, move on.
It's great.
I want more Kyo.
It's so... Honestly, they haven't really, since the beach arc, they haven't, been around. They pop in for, cute little moments, but, overall, they haven't been hanging out.
No, exactly. There's one volume where in the beginning there's a note that says Kyo won't show up much in this volume. Anyways, yeah, so I didn't used to like the student council that much, and now that I'm watching it animated, I love them and they're my favorite group. I don't know what happened, but I love them so much. So
good. Their personalities are so different and so just larger than life in every way. But not that could tread into some annoying territory, and I'm sure that some people don't like them for how large a lot of their personalities are. but I live for it, you know?
Yes, it makes me so happy now. I love them. But Yuki's out here asking more questions, and he's like, oh, Kimi wants to go somewhere. Machi, you want to go? Like, Machi, what are you doing? You don't have a cell phone? Let me give you that address.
Every piece of this interaction, just from, like, Yuki being like, oh, that was the biggest hurdle of the semester, which I'm assuming was the culture festival.
Mm.
And then, like, Kakeru, like, smashing now on the head. I don't know. Every little micro moment was so perfect in this. I'm fanboying all over this.
I love it. I'm happy that you grabbed onto something that is your own, that I did not put in front of you or try and make you like, because I originally did not like it. I started out not liking Kakeru. For my entire life, I didn't really like him. And you latched onto him and you love him, and it had nothing to do with my input. And that makes me so happy that you enjoy this series in a different way than I have. By the way, I do love Kakeru now, so don't worry.
Because how could you not?
I think hearing his voice made all the difference for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
inflection really is everything, because I feel like just reading him on a page, he would probably come off as kind of like a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, to an extent he is, but in a really fun way.
Yeah, in like a best friend kind of way.
Yeah, like you were saying, Yuki invites Machi to go along with them.
Yes!
After Kimi, like, proposes that they all go out for dinner.
Yeah, and that one line that Yuki says, which is, I want to see what the world looks like from your eyes, that's what Kakeru said to him.
Oh, is it really?
I'm pretty sure. Oh gosh, I hope I'm not wrong, but if I am, we'll just pop it on screen or something. But back whenever they were having an argument and Kakeru had said that he has trouble seeing things from people's positions and that he just wants to see the world from Yuki's perspective, it's kind of similar, or at least mirroring the same kind of idea. But I like that Yuki's taking what he's learned from his new friends and he's applying it to make another friend, potential romantic interest, Machi.
Yeah, so Kimi is like, oh, no one else has to come. Like, it can just be me and Yunyun going for that date vibe. Which, like, you gotta give it to her. She shoots her shot.
Oh, yeah, she's really out here trying.
Yuki wanting to see the world through Machi's perspective, which is something that we see a little bit more about her parentage in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that can't be something that she's ever experienced before, like in her entire life.
No, she mentions that she's never even really thought about minute little details about herself, or really anything, like her favorite color, what restaurant she likes, where she likes to go, because she was so focused on, I guess, beating Kakeru because of her mom's influence and saying that she needed to be the best at everything, that she never stopped to focus on what she likes instead of what her mom wanted.
Yeah. And so, like, her saying those things, like, he asked me questions I don't know the answer to. Like, and then he probably doesn't remember the last time that he asked her a question. And the fact that she latches on to that last question, and, like, that's something that has, like, been on her mind. I don't feel like this is some isolated incident. I almost feel like him asking her that question, like wanting to know more about her, is part of the reason she broke the door down to save him. Like, he has really profoundly caught her attention.
Okay.
You know?
How so?
So after the call with her mom, she starts thinking about, like, how Yuki has changed and reflecting, like, on all of these moments that she has seen him throughout, like, their schooling, where people would be, like, praising him and calling him Prince Yuki, but the more they do that, the lonelier he looks. And I almost feel like she feels confined by her family situation, and she doesn't see her way out of that situation for her to be able to change like that. But she wants to be able to change like she's seeing Yuki change. And maybe this is opening up a possibility that it's actually feasible to do, you know? Like, maybe those doors are slightly, I'm not saying opened, but if we're using the box metaphor, her box is still firmly closed, but like Tohru opened the box for Yuki, maybe, like, the bubbles are coming out of Machi's box now. It's not open by any means, but, like, the bubbles are popping out.
Okay. All right. I'll take it.
Yeah.
And after Machi gets the address, we move on. They're leaving school, and This moment of Yuki and Kakeru fighting makes me so happy because we're seeing Yuki's personality. He's finally acting like a high schooler. Like, he did not get the chance to act like a high schooler before. He's picking on his friends. He's talking about random stuff with them, hanging out after school with people that aren't related to him. Like, it's so exciting that he finally gets the chance to just be a kid.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how his personality has shifted, you know?
Yeah, and we actually got mentioned on Twitter by Francesca. Hello, Francesca. She always leaves such good comments. Okay, anyways. So she tweeted us and she let us know that Yuki in the beginning had been wearing a lot of more formal, traditional, like Japanese, Chinese kind of clothing. And now he's branching out style-wise. He's wearing a little bit more Western, kind of less casual kind of things. Do you know what I mean? Like more sweaters, more button-ups, and less of the really like Chinese kinds of clasps and collars. And that is so different from how he used to dress, especially with how people at the estate dress. So I'm adding a little bit onto this. When he was younger, he full on would just wear like kimonos or I don't know the exact styling for that type of dress, but it would be very formal, very Japanese. And that's how they all dress, like Shigure, Akito. They all kind of, the people at the estate dress that way. And now Yuki's branching out fully and separating himself. And he's becoming more like his friends who are all dressing really casually. So he's choosing a side. And I like that.
Yeah, definitely.
But that was such a good observation. And he's hanging out with his friends. They're going to go chill after school. But then we get Machi, and she heads on home to her very messy room.
Which, like, oh my god, her and Yuki, like, they're soulmates, like, 100%. But that could be problematic.
I mean, you had said it. Their hair colors are compatible. Their rooms
Their mess is compatible.
I mean, it's compatible. They have the same living style. That's pretty good. The bad part is that Machi leaves around entire trash bags and doesn't care to fix her window.
No, yeah. Well, she needs that window like that for if there's ever a dramatic, like, camera shot that needs to be had.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I think that this whole like living arrangement and especially her conversation with her mom. So when she gets home, she picks up like the phone that's just like on the ground, right?
Where it belongs.
She starts talking to her mom and just listening to that conversation where her mom is just almost verbally berating her, and she remembers all of these times that her mom has verbally like just really put her down, calling her like a dull person. And essentially telling her she's not good enough, this, that, the other thing, like she needs to work harder, she needs to be smarter, like that kind of stuff, you know? So like in my last video, like the psychology of videos, I talked about Haru Okumura from Persona 5 Row, right?
Okay.
And in that video, I talked a lot about authoritarian parenting. When the parents are like the dictators of the house, essentially, like they make all the decisions about their kids. Like, they have really strict and stringent rules that the kids have to adhere to. Like, really strict discipline, punishment, like, all that kind of stuff. And the kids have to obey, like, that authority. And so, I thought that that is essentially what Machi's going through, right? Like, her parents, like, just being very overbearing in terms of, her family situation with her mom and Kakeru's mom and the dad, who's just probably the worst, honestly. But that's an assumption. I don't really know that much about him. But I feel like that has led to how she's dealing with life right now. Just kind of passing by, making sure that she is, like, adhering to what her mother wants, right? To the best of her ability. And it almost feels like she has depressive symptoms at this point.
Okay. No, yeah, I can see that.
Because she lives in... It's not a great environment, just in general. With all of the trash laying around, like the open soda cans everywhere. Just her, like, going to sleep and waking up immediately without even, like, changing clothes. Like, it seems like she's very low energy a lot of the time. Really muted affect. I don't know enough about her to say, like, she has major depressive disorder. Like, I've heard her speak, 12 words? Like, it's not been that much.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, I can diagnose, like, on this spot, because that's not how that works. But I do think that she shows at least signs of some form of depressive symptoms, you know?
Yeah. And also, from an artistic standpoint, so we have heard time and time again in like my different art classes that I had in college that eyes are the window to the soul. So if you have eyes in a photo, our minds are hardwired to look at people in their eyes to show like respect and, you know, just make sure that you're understanding them. Usually a lot of emotion is communicated through the eyes, and you can really tell what someone is trying to convey to you. So we have learned to look at people in their eyes when we speak to them, and so we're hardwired to look at eyes all the time. Eyes are the windows to the soul, okay? When Machi is on the phone with her mom, and she reflects later and says that she's like broken, she's a doll with missing parts, her eyes are where the glass is shattered. We don't get to see her eyes. Her eyes are, in a sense, broken. The windows to the soul, broken. She is broken. So I think it's such a visually interesting way to communicate that Machi is feeling broken by having her in front of broken glass like that. And I just want to commend the artists for doing that and doing it in such a beautiful way, because they really nailed it. I got exactly what she was going for there. So that was so cool.
They use broken glass really well in this show, because like this has happened numerous times at this point.
Oh yeah, there's been broken glass before, but it's never been on their eyes. It might have kind of
with Yuki.
It made his
like,
eyes
it wasn't
sadder.
on his eyes, but like it made his face distorted.
Yeah, it distorted his face. You could still see his eyes. I think that they were replicated multiple times because the glass was shattered. But with this one, you cannot see her eyes. It is to show that she is broken. Not actually broken. I don't think human beings can be broken, but she feels broken.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was so cool. And
not at this moment.
Okay.
Like, something might come to me though. But after this, she just kind of collapses onto her bed, and this is when she starts thinking about Yuki and how he's changed. And then she wakes up. So I wasn't sure how to take this scene, you know? Like, was she awake, like semi-awake, all night just thinking about Yuki? Was this like a dream? Like, you know, like, did she actually sleep at all? Like, I don't know. Because, like, that could be further credence that if she just doesn't really sleep, if she has insomnia and she's up all night thinking, like, that could be even further credence to the idea that she might be dealing with something that is depressive in nature. Maybe not. Maybe even like anxiety. Yeah. Like, I don't know. How did you take that?
I don't know. I guess I always thought that she was sleeping, but she does wake up really weirdly because she is still wearing her school uniform. She must have gotten home. Well, it was sunset, but it's also winter. So it would have been pretty early still. She skipped dinner, I guess. She slept throughout the whole night and woke up in the morning, and she was just so okay with it. Like, oh, it's morning, okay. That's kind of really sad.
I don't know. Everything, like, we scrawled so many notes just about what Machi was saying, because her internal monologue throughout this was just, I don't know. Like, it was almost like heart-wrenching.
It was. Every part of it. Just that she doesn't even know how to take anything. She doesn't even understand how she should see the world, let alone how she should see herself. She's so confused, and it's really upsetting because I don't know. I like do walks to prevent suicide and stuff, and this is how people always explain their experiences, and that they didn't even know how to approach anything at all. And I don't know. It's so upsetting to me, and it was like hard to watch.
This segment, when she was walking, like, once she gets out of the train, right? And she's talking about her being like a doll, unable to become human, and maybe she's the one that's unengaged with the world or disengaged with the world. It reminded me a lot, like how there was that slow-mo in that stop, you know?
Yeah.
Where she's still walking, but everyone else stopped and was in blue. I know it's like different, but you know that movie A Silent Voice, where everyone has X's on their faces.
Mm-hmm.
Where the main character, I can't remember his name, is so closed off from the world. And slowly, as he begins opening up, the X's start coming off.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I saw this situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
She is alone. She's invisible in the world. And she's just moving through, not mattering to anyone. Like, no one can see her. But then the second she walks out of that station saying that I'm invisible, she is immediately seen and recognized, and Yuki's happy to see her.
Yes, and I just have to shout out to the sound direction here, because when everything goes still, it's not 100% silent. There's some weird white noise there that makes it feel empty and kind of like a weird,
almost
empty
like
and
tinnitus.
Claustrophobic. Yeah, where it's like, I hate making a comparison to SpongeBob but like when Squidward is in that like all white room, where it's
my god,
that's what it felt like to me. That is exactly what it felt like to me, where it's empty but also claustrophobic at the same time. And it's so scary. And that is what the sound sounded like to me. And then once she sees Yuki, you can hear life again. You can hear the sounds of people walking, the trains, just wildlife, birds, whatever. You can hear it all come rushing back the second that she sees Yuki and he greets her. And that sound direction was nuts, because it wasn't even like it went entirely silent, but life just came back. It was crazy. But yeah, Yuki opened her up again.
She literally just asked, am I needed in this world? Which, the second, like, you just brought up, like, walk to prevent suicide and, like, suicide prevention. And that almost felt like where her mind was going in that moment, While I don't want to, like, impose that idea upon her character, maybe that's not at all correct. I'm still getting to know the character. But, like, that, like, raised a red flag for me for a minute, If her life has been that isolated, like, she lives alone, which I'm pretty sure in Japan, like, if you go to a different high school or you go to a specific high school, that's, like, not uncommon. But, like, being so isolated, she doesn't have friends. She doesn't have people around her. Her mother doesn't care. Like, she has no one but herself. That can be a slippery slope.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of that, if this conversation is at all triggering to you in any way, there will be links down below where you can go speak to someone who is qualified to help you, because we love and care about you and want the best for you. So if you're feeling uncomfortable right now, please go check the links below. We'll have it for different countries. Go talk to someone. Be safe.
Yeah.
It's Suicide Prevention Month. Yay. Okay.
Yeah, because you matter. Like, you will always matter, and no matter what's going on, we want you to get any service that would be beneficial to you. So if you do need that, please, like, check out those numbers, check out those resources.
But yes, so Yuki is a light for Machi in this moment. She gets a little bit of reprieve from her thoughts that seem to be suffocating her a little bit there.
Yes.
And
she trips.
He startles her. And she drops all of the messy contents of her bag.
Which, like, a bottle opener.
I love it. And she also put in the bookmark, which, okay, this is your time, John. Please. You ran around the table last time. Unfortunately, we weren't together this time.
Okay.
Please tell me your feelings.
Okay. So, I am fed. I am so fed. I have been waiting for this moment since, like, mid-season when she was, like, introduced. When, for some reason, I put it into my mind that they were, like, a match made in heaven, which, pats on the back, they are.
Yeah, when you mentioned that, I got so grumpy, because I was like, why are you shipping them already? That's weird. Why are you doing that? And then,
because he needs love. That's not Tohru.
But your reasoning was always, their hair colors are compatible. And I was like, that is not a good reason. What are you doing?
It's a great reason.
I mean,
Clearly, it's a great reason. Takia agrees. That's why she gave them those hair colors. Anyways, when they're, like, cleaning everything up, and he spots the leaf, and he's like, oh my god, like, is that the leaf that I gave you? And she's like, no, why would it be? He's like, oh, that's a little how many maple leaves do you just have chilling? But then she's like, well, it could be yours. And he has the audacity, Allie, to say that, well, it seems like you treasure it, so like... And she takes none too kindly to that. Because she's just like, I just shove it in a book. I know I'm just like reiterating the scene, but oh my god, give me this.
You get so cute when you fanboy. But yeah, you really, you latched onto that scene. Oh my god.
And then Kakeru shows up and just makes it all better. And then they, like, it goes on for a while, and Yuki figures out that her favorite color is red because of the ribbon on the bookmark and the maple leaf. And then earlier in the episode, she was like, he probably doesn't even remember asking me about my favorite color and me not responding. And then he figures it out, and she's like, oh my god. He literally cares about the most minuscule details about me. And then she's all blushy, and they're like play fighting. Like, they have never made a character blush this much in this show. Like, it was her whole head.
Yeah,
her hair was blushing. The compatible hair was nervous about the situation.
Oh my god.
Because the hair knew they were compatible. Oh, okay, sorry. You can, yeah. I can keep going. Oh, she likes red. Red Power Ranger. Who's the Red Power Ranger? I think it's Yuki.
Oh my goodness, yes. This is exactly what I wanted. When I found out which chapters were going to be covered in this episode, we were in the car, and I just started squealing. And I was like, John, you're gonna like this episode. I'm not telling you why, but you're gonna like it, and I'm really excited, and I wish I could be there when you watch it, but oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Oh,
I got so many messages of people being excited for you to watch this episode.
Okay. I'm like, my like adrenaline's going, like, I want to watch it again. Like, it was so...
I will mention that...
It was alright.
Okay. there was a little tidbit, a couple panels that were skipped.
Yeah.
And I'll let you read it one day.
Wait, is it about, like, Yuki and Machi?
I'm not telling you what it's about, you little sneak. You're not getting a spoiler. Well, I guess it's not really a spoiler, but one day you'll read the manga, you'll figure it out, don't worry about it. But I will list down below what...
Deprived me?
Hey, they've skipped Kyoru content. It's your turn now, okay? It's your turn now, bub.
Okay.
But
and then Kimmy and Nao show up and they eat food and it's just lovely.
It is just lovely. But then we move on. Page turn. New chapter. It's New Year's. And they're at Kazuma's.
Yes.
We're with Toru and Kyo now. They're at Kazuma's, funnily enough, because Yuki did not want them to be left alone in the house. Which I think is hilarious.
Because he's looking out for mom.
Oh yeah, no, the best part is that Kazuma has Kyo's back, and he knows that there's something going on there, so he leaves them alone anyway. Like,
yeah.
Like, Kazuma's not gonna interrupt. He's like, Kyo's gonna be in a room for the rest of his life. I'm gonna let him hang out with Tohru. He only has a year until he gets confined, so... I'm leaving him alone. I don't care.
He's not gonna let that happen.
I mean, true.
Kazuma, he's like a samurai. He's gonna like pull out a sword and like decapitate Akito or something.
Jeez Louise.
What if?
Your reading on Kazuma's character is very different from what I thought we were at.
You're like, how'd you figure that spoiler out? He gets named Godslayer.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then, like, this is just a funny interaction, because Toru's just so, like, thankful and grateful. And Kyo's like, it sounds like you're here asked to be his wife or something.
Yeah, and she's like, no, leave that to Hanajima. And Kyo's getting like, grabby now. He keeps grabbing her face.
Yeah. It used to be the head bonks, now it's the face grabs.
Yeah. We're getting closer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. But, yeah, so we get that really amazing scene. The flashback, which I haven't mentioned the scarf yet. Ooh, that scarf. I love those pom-poms.
That was just the best. That was her new scarf. And then she's like, it has pom-poms. And then she just hits Kyo with them.
It is a couple thing to do. You have to do it. It is the cutest form of flirting.
It is mandatory.
But, yeah, and I love that the whole time Kyo is drinking milk, because cat.
Oh my god.
Like, they're in their purest forms here. It's so great.
Oh my god, I didn't even realize.
Yeah, in the manga, he drinks it way more from the carton, and I think Yuki even calls him out for it at one point in what would have been season 1. But yeah, Kyo has lots of cat tendencies. Anyways.
That's hilarious.
But back to New Year's at Kazuma's. Rin is there. Tohru is very excited to hug her. Rin is not so excited to be hugged. Which is hilarious.
And Tohru face plants. This whole episode was just, minus like the sad Machi backstory, which like I was just grateful to get. Like, this was such a wholesome episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I guess.
Yuki.
Well.
God.
Yeah, Akito does kind of like ruin Yuki's forehead.
He takes it well, though.
No, he is a champion.
Yeah.
He is a champion.
You know what? Since we're there anyway, Rin's out of the hospital. That's pretty much the end of that scene. But at the banquet now,
like, honestly.
Yeah. Hattery is cool. These are my notes, okay? Hattery is so cool. Ayame is the most. And Shigure put his foot in his mouth. Those are my notes.
Poor Hattery. He's like, are you back together with Mayu?
Yeah.
And Shigure's like, slowly insert foot into mouth.
Yeah, because their relationship is still relatively new, you know? Like, he doesn't... I guess they haven't cemented it or become exclusive yet. And, yeah Shigure... Yeah.
And I feel like Hattori is just a shy, insecure boy.
Yeah, I mean, he's still coming to terms with things. They do a little zoom up later of the picture where, you know, Kana used to be in the frame. Now it's an empty frame, so he's coming to terms with things. He's moving on.
We need more Hattori content.
Amen to that one.
Oh my god. He did look so cool, too.
And Ayame is super fabulous because the entire crowd of Zodiac members are around him, and then Akito and Yuki are sitting next to each other, and Kureno's off on the side like a punished child, and it's just a mess.
Caged bird.
Like a caged bird. Our bird boy. But it's here that we get a really juicy conversation between Yuki and Akito.
Yes. Oh my god, yes.
Oh
my Akito, yes.
Oh my god. Holy
Haru! Holy Haru! Hold your reins.
No, we are not. This is the worst time to make a joke. Knock it off. But Yuki is in distress. But okay, Yuki is saying that he forgives Akito, which, you know, immediate eye-opener for Akito. He's like, forgive me for what?
I'm great.
I didn't do anything wrong. You're the one not hanging around me anymore, jerk. But Yuki goes on to say basically that he's sick of blaming others because he's been blaming like his mom and Akito and Kyo for all of the mishaps in his life. And that he wants to change, he wants to grow.
This has been the Yuki season. Just from start to finish, it's just been such a journey. It feels like so long ago that we saw him just trying desperately to enter the Soma estate. And having that breathing issue, just getting there, you know? That feels like so long ago. And seeing who he is now, and how, even other people, like Machi, are perceiving him, and that growth and that change. I think it's so awesome to hear how willing he is to verbalize to literally the largest form of stress and trauma in his life so far. And I think that, I don't know, I like Yuki more and more every time he's in an episode, you know?
Yeah, he was really shining this episode. He looks so cute. He's such a good boy. I love him. I was like, my son, he's growing up.
I thought it was cool that Kareno was tuning into this whole thing too. He was really paying attention to what Yuki was saying.
Yeah, and interesting that he was, because Akito gets a little, understandably annoyed that Yuki wants to grow and change and become a good person and whatever. Boring. Akito gets mad and says, "What's that in your eyes?" We got a weird scene of Kureno, and then Akito attack. So Do you have any ideas about what was happening there, or what you hearing?
I do. So I feel like Akito is like connected to Kareno like he is with Yuki, or to a similar degree. And I almost feel like Kareno did this exact thing years back. I almost feel like Kureno had that hope, had that, like, resolve to change and grow and move past Akito that Yuki has right now. I almost feel like Kureno is scared for Yuki and what's about to happen. Because we see that, like, almost flashback to Kureno where it looks like he's in this very ethereal kind of setting. And were those, like, dove feathers?
I think there was some type of feather, yeah.
Yeah, like, very, like, elegant, very beautiful feathers, like, flowing down around him, and he's, like, crying. And so maybe he went through this same kind of deal. Akito got mad, had a similar reaction, but, like, really hammered down and broke Kureno, you know? To submit and to stay submitted all these years later. Like, because Kureno's still so isolated from the world.
I mean, Kareno is so unchanging that he literally hasn't changed his shirt since we've met him.
Yeah.
But...
And so I have to wonder if that's why. Because he had, like, a similar, like, desire to grow and to change and to move past Akito. And Akito got him. But now he sees Yuki doing the same thing. But Yuki actually has a support system, which I don't think Kureno ever had.
Okay.
Because, like, Ayame flocks to Yuki immediately after it happens.
Oh, yeah, and so does Hatsuharu.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention that he has so many connections with non-somas who would be viscerally, like, questioning and upset if anything happened to Yuki.
Yeah.
And they're such different people, it would be hard to erase all of their memories, since they're, like, full-grown people.
I don't know.
So, I don't know, I feel like Akito's scared now. Or maybe not scared, but angry. And I think something's gonna go down because of this.
What do you mean? The next episode's only the season finale. Nothing crazy could happen.
Yeah.
No, nothing ever happens during the last episode.
Maybe we'll get that Kyoru kiss.
Oh. I mean, I would like that.
I mean, it's New Year's. We didn't actually see, like, the proverbial ball drop. You know what people do on New Year's? God, what if they do?
I love you. Okay, but after that, Yuki
Yuki
hit. Akito attack, you know. Blood splatter on the shirt. And Ayame Ayame has the strength of 1,000 men.
I adore Ayame. I love Ayame so much.
But then we get a much needed conversation between Yuki and Hattery, where Yuki finally apologizes, says that he's been blaming Hattery all these years, even though he may not have even known that he was blaming Hattery. In the back of his mind, he still kind of was upset with him for erasing the memories of his childhood friends. So, and I like that he even recognizes that it probably caused Hattery some pain too, because he looks like he's, I don't know, like a high schooler or something. He's young, you know?
We talked about this, was it last episode or 2 episodes ago?
Something like that, yeah.
Whenever that young Yuki stuff was happening. That was a couple episodes ago. But, like, he's young in that scene when he's erasing those memories.
Yeah. And so Yuki acknowledges that, and Hattery takes it so well. He's so happy because he had heard Shigure earlier say that he's indebted to Yuki and all that nonsense, and he finally gets to close the book on that one. And he goes, "You're so
actually
kind."
Gets closure.
Yeah.
From something that he probably thinks of as one of his worst transgressions, since he knows what happened to Yuki after that. And seeing him be able to grow into this kind, open, outgoing human being, even after all of that trauma that they've all been aware of and they've all watched unfold and have done nothing about until recently, is just... everything's coming up roses lately for Hattery.
Yeah, Hattery getting closure, Hattery getting to be happy. What?
Oh.
We love to see it.
Everything's gonna burn next season.
I mean,
It has to.
That's
It
a
has
bit
to.
much.
Things are...
I don't know.
We'll see. I feel like things are going south. Well, maybe things will burn next episode. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, last season wasn't that exciting. I mean, at the end, we only found out that Kyo was cursed with a cat monster thing. So, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's all. Like,
that's all.
Just like the biggest 180. Like...
I mean, that's
like,
nothing, so.
Wait, that's nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing. But...
Oh, God.
I'm kidding.
What's gonna happen?
Okay, I'm not telling you. You'll see. Anyways, I'm recording we're recording the whole reaction to the whole episode because I don't want to like get up in the middle of it or something and turn on a camera and be like, okay, pause the episode. This part's gonna be crazy, you know? So we're just gonna record the whole thing. Maybe it's a really boring episode and we'll just have your reaction. So we'll see. Anyways, I'm recording it and it'll be a good time. So
dope.
Next, in our chronological events, we have Hatsuharu. He's dipping out from the banquet. He's like, Yuki has friends. I don't need to be here anymore.
Yeah.
And Shigure, interestingly enough, knows that Rin is out of the hospital. Which, like, Tohru, who was friends with Rin, didn't even know that Rin was going to be out. So, you know, Shigure always has his nose in everybody's business. But
to be fair, they're fledgling friends. They're like getting there. Like, Rin didn't even want a hug. They're getting there.
True. But, okay, so here we get Shigure, and he says a little something that I already told you, but just in case you're an anime only watching this scene was mistranslated. Shigure says, let me double check. Shigure says something like, Akito should teach them a lesson, and that was mistranslated. So it looks like the general consensus is that it was supposed to be translated to, it would be better if you realized quickly, or like Akito had realized, or it would be good if Akito could understand. Apparently there's a bunch of different translations. I'll pop up a tweet I read about how it could be translated on screen. And yeah, so this was mistranslated. Don't think that that's what Shigure was trying to say. There you go.
He's more so saying Akito needs to learn from them, essentially.
Yeah, he's not saying Akito should beat him up. It's more like Akito should learn.
Which I think is really interesting, because I've kind of been thinking a lot lately that Shigure sees Akito as a human, maybe. I don't think Shigure hates Akito. Shigure was like Akito's caretaker before Akito went off his rocker. Regardless of the circumstances of what caused Akito to get so angry and vindictive, I think it's probably, like I've said numerous times, parentally motivated, and just his upbringing in general led him to kind of have these issues. Maybe God, like having God inside of him, like messes with his head a little bit. But I think because Shigure knew and like babysat and cared for him so much, I assume it was a lot because they've shown it kind of a couple times, he sees the potential for what Akito could be, and he wants Akito to be redeemed. Like I want Akito to be redeemed, because I don't think anyone is irredeemable. Like, Akito's done some majorly messed up stuff, and I think Shigure knows that too. But he's an author, so like, I think he can find and wants to find the happy ending for everyone. Even though he acts like he's only self-motivated to find whatever he's looking for, even though it might hurt some people along the way, I think he's looking for the best outcome for everyone, if that makes sense. Maybe I'm just very idealistic about Shigure.
Who knows?
That's what I want to be true.
I admire that. But I see a lot of people saying that Akito is irredeemable, and I haven't really heard many people say that they want a redemption bit for Akito, so I mean, props to you, but I mean, we'll see if we get it.
It doesn't make sense for him to be irredeemable, because every other character in this show is so human and deals with such human situations that even though Akito's the quote-unquote antagonist, why would Takuya just be so blatantly like, he's evil, he sucks, you know? I don't know, that doesn't make sense to me. And I'm not going to say that all of his actions are going to be justified, because they won't be, ever, in any world. Like, Akito did horrible things, but maybe he'll be able to move past and repent and slowly be able to grow, hopefully by the end of the season. But I also think we'll see him commit a lot more atrocities.
Track record.
Yeah.
Which is what?
I mean, we haven't really seen signs of growth from him yet. So,
but
I'm just hoping here.
I'll take it. I'll take it. But after Hatsuharu leaves, we get Toru and Kyo again. They're alone, opposite of what Yuki wanted. And they're out here flirting, talking about each other's wishes, and
flirting up a storm.
Toru calls him adorable, which I enjoy. But she goes on to say that last year she had wished that Kyo and Yuki would become friends, which, they're not fighting each other all the time anymore, but they're not friends.
We realized that they both wish they were closer to each other.
Yeah, but...
Or did at one point.
Mm-hmm. The powers that be made them not like each other that much, and a friendship is kind of hard to form at this point. And she goes on to say...
Naruto and Sasuke.
Yeah. She goes on to say that now she's wishing that she can break the curse, which we already kind of knew, but she's still dead set on it, like she's gonna figure it out. And then we cut, Momiji gives Kureno that DVD from the school play. And so he may watch it, who knows?
He will watch it. Come on. They're not gonna be like, he threw it away. Like, end of storyline. Well,
I think, didn't you say that you were thinking that maybe Akito would catch him?
I think he will catch him.
Okay.
I remain steadfast in that belief. But, because otherwise, like, the Kareno Uotani storyline would, like, fall flat a little bit. Unless there's some, like, other way that it occurs that I'm not privy to. But I feel like he has to.
We will see. Maybe he'll watch it next episode. Maybe it's season 3. Who knows?
I'm concerned, because isn't he the one that said the line for the next episode?
Oh yeah, let's go into it. So what are your thoughts for this season finale? What are you thinking Kareno's saying? Who's he saying to? What's going on?
Yuki, like, awakened something in him. Like I said earlier in the episode, like, maybe he went through this, but Akito re-broke him. I think Yuki saying these things made him realize, like, oh my god, I did exactly what Yuki just said. Like, that is me. Like, that's where I'm at. But, like, he's done. Like, can I be done? And I think that almost awakened a thought process in Kureno. And I think he's going to watch that DVD. I think that Akito is about to go, like, ape stuff all over everything. Because I think Kureno's going to try and be like, can I, like, leave?
Yeah, he says, can I go to the grocery store again? And never comes back.
Yeah, or, like, maybe he even just goes and talks to Akito and tells him, like, please, like, let me, like, can I have a little bit of a loosened leash? And maybe Akito is gonna start believing that, like, everything is collapsing in on him. First Yuki, now Kureno, the two that he had the most under his thumb. Like, he doesn't have control anymore. And I feel like Akito not feeling like he has control is the worst situation for literally everyone in the show.
Okay.
Like, what if he finds the DVD and, like, goes out and, like, tries to, like, attack Uotani or something? That might not make sense. Because how would he know that Uotani's, like, little spiel was about Kureno? Maybe he'll, like, try and attack Tohru. That makes more sense.
Mm-hmm. So do you think we're ending on like a cliffhanger kind of thing? Or do you think this is going to get resolved in the episode? Or is this season 3?
Oh, they're great at writing this show. They're gonna leave us on a stinking cliffhanger. Because they're gonna be like, how do we get everyone back for season 3? Oh, something big is gonna happen, and we're gonna give no resolution.
They're like, yes, of course. Everyone will flock to the manga and go read it instead. They just want to know. Okay.
It's gonna be a painful year.
I can't wait to just increase all of the hidden keywords for you so you can't look up anything about Fruits Basket.
I mean, I'm not gonna look anything up because I very much want to experience it in this format.
Oh, yeah. I mean, more like accidentally stumbling up across a tweet. Like that.
Oh, yeah. That's much more risky.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. I accept your theories. Good job. making the cogs in your brain work. Big brain.
Big brain. But is there anything else that you want to talk about?
I don't think so. Again, I'll be mentioning all of the cut content and things that got moved around down in the comments, and come hang out with me and talk about spoilers down there. Yep.
But yeah, so that'll do it for today's podcast. If you like this, you want to see more content like this coming from the show, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and why even ringing that notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure to share this podcast wherever you like sharing things, because it means so much and it's so incredibly helpful. But as always, we hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, a fantastic rest of your week, and why not even a fantastic rest of your month. And we will see you in the next video. Later!
See ya!